Merry meet all. It's a book flip through, and finally got around to doing this one. I just had to redo it because I had too much noise from the neighbours in the last attempt. So here we go, without further ado. This is Wilderness Knits by Linka Neumann. I have also done a flip through of her other book, Wilderness Knits for the Home. It's a hardback cover, just like the Wilderness Knits for the Home, and I'll add a link into the description of this vlog. And I have a cup of chamomile tea in this awesome mug, which was in a $5 bin, hand painted with bees. I mean, come on, the chamomile. Anyway, let's go through it. Let's do it. So the same beautiful texture, quality and thickness of the paper in the Wilderness Knits for the Home. The cat's getting cozy. My poor duck Bella is next to me. She hurt her beak. She's in a bit of shock, so she's staying inside with me today. So if you hear any whimpers in the background, it's her being cute, and I'm sorry ahead of time. And I do believe this is Alasuq. Is it Alasuq? Or is it anyway, we'll find out. So the thing with this pattern book, she does have the same charts, but with different techniques. So she'll have a sweater in thick, in thin, and cardigan version. This is the Pilgrim sweater. The sweaters overall, she's got the Wilderness Sweater, which is one of the doggy paw or the paw prints, in sweater, cardigan, and child size. The Foyka Sweater, the Alasuq, in polar or thin. From what I can gather, the polar is between a 5.5 and a 6 millimeter gauge garn, and the thin, from what I can gather, is around a 4 millimeter or DK weighted garn. The Fjordfolk sweater with sewn on sleeves, and then the sweater with a round yoke. So there are two different techniques of making a sweater, which I think is handy because, you know, it's something you can transfer to other patterns you might like, but just want it to sit differently. And I think when you try different techniques of construction when it comes to sweaters, you'll find one that you lean on. Do I have one at this point in time? Not yet. After this, doing some of the patterns in this book, I definitely will have. It also comes in a cardigan. The sweater with a round yoke is quite a common sweater construction you find in Nordic sweaters. Then we've got the Matoaka Sweater, the Galdrer Sweater, Molinka Sweater, Nordkalotten Sweater. I love this one, and she's got it in cardigan as well. The Norwegian Forest Sweater, December Headband, the Pilgrim Sweater, which is here, that's in polar, but she's also got it in a thin version. Storm Sweater, Black Wolf Sweater, I love that one as well, especially the gold and green colorway. Tusseladd Sweater in sweater, polar, and cardigan. So I think she meant thin, not polar. Anyway, without further ado, let's go through. Yeah, I think this is the Fjord. Anyway, I won't say because if I get it wrong. The Wilderness Sweater. I love the hues of the natural wool though. I mean, just look at that. It looks like orange, burnt orange, crimson, all in one. Do you know what I mean? It's beautiful. We don't have that kind of garn down here, unfortunately. Alright, so let's look at the Wilderness Sweater. The inspiration for this sweater comes, of course, from my immense love for dogs. Dogs have been a big part of my life since I was little, especially huskies. Today I have two slightly strange but lovable dogs. A sweater with a paw print was therefore something I not only wanted but had to have. The Icelandic Alasuq garn, which is used in this sweater, consists of both top and undercoat wool. When it rains and snows, the top wool rises almost like a halo around the sweater, hence it is ideal for use in all kinds of weather. Something I really appreciate about Nordic approaches to garments and garn is the different, where they get the different garn from, different sources, different breeds. They all have these different traits and qualities that suit the purpose of the item that you're creating. You know what I mean? I really love that. So it's a cardigan version. She doesn't have the pattern of this in here, but it just looks like a moss stitch headband, and I'd just use the same row count and everything as a December headband that's coming. Doesn't have a mitten pattern in here either, but I'd just use the paw print from the child's graph into a basic mitten pattern if you really want to do it. This guy's wearing a olive version, which is nice with the burgundy. So that's her again. I'm not going to show the instructions. This is in a different colorway. I love that colorway. December headband again. Will be again later on. So that moss stitch headband, cardigan version. Another thing, so here's a child's version. Another thing I will say too in this book is that you're looking at a couple of different sizes of needles, not really a lot, so I'll get into it in a sec. So yeah, it is for the Foyka. No, it's not Foyka, no. But that Foyka sweater was here earlier on. Anyway, so let's read this one. Once during the process of writing this book, my creativity stopped and I felt uninspired and empty of ideas. When I informed my editor, she suggested I design a sweater and name it after her English settler named Foyka. Foyka in Norwegian means snow blizzard, and this became the starting point of this sweater. I began knitting and immediately felt the inspiration coming back. I'm eternally grateful for that obstacle. Without it, the sweater would not have been created. Yeah, I've got the heater going, but I've also got the window open just so we got air coming in, so it's a blue version. The heater's really more for Bella, who's in the crate next to me, just resting, poor girl. This is in the burgundy and a mallard green option. I love the burgundy. I want to do a burgundy and an aqua version. So this is the Alasuq. This is what's on the cover. Almost reminds me of a map of Australia. So this is in a polar version. That's the December headband in a different colorway to what we saw previously. Let's read a bit about this. I grew up in Oslo, not far from the house of the adventurer Helge Ingstad. I loved visiting his daughter Benedict and granddaughter Marit, who still lived there with a bunch of huskies. One of my favorites was called Alasuq. The sweater is a little demanding to knit since parts of the sweater are knitted with three strands. Nevertheless, the result is so lovely it's worth the time. I have made the Alasuq in both a thin and thick variant. So that's the front cover, different colorway. I move the camera away just so I don't show the instructions, sorry. Different colorway. Yeah, doesn't that look like a map of Australia? December headband in a different color. And yeah, my hands and forearms are completely scarred. I train birds and I don't use wrist guards or anything like that. So, and I handle my birds, and so, yep, covered in scratches, scrapes, and scars. That's okay. This is the thin version. I really love the thin version, and I love this colorway. That's it there again in a green. The Wilderness Knit jumper. Okay, the Fjordfolk. This is actually, I think it's almost like the Wilderness, but it's got extra bits on the bottom. So it's got this diamond sort of pattern throughout it, which is pretty much a traditional Norwegian sort of pattern as well. And the construction as well. The sleeves are sewn on, I believe. Different colorway. I do like this colorway. Something I will note in this book, with the thin version of things, we have 3mm and 3.5mm dpns, and 40 centimeter circulars and 80 centimeter circulars in the same size throughout, and that's for the thin. And then when it comes to the thicker patterns, such as the the polar, or you know, just that's in a different colorway, and I love that one. Yeah, she's got the same there. There's also a, I think it's a, oh, hang on, I'll try and find it. Oh no, it's the same needles in there. Oh no. So this is the Fjordfolk Cardigan. It's gonna make a liar of me now because Matoaka. So this one here. The Native Americans inspired me when designing these sweaters, so I chose to call it Matoaka, Pocahontas' real name. Yeah, so 3mm and 3mm, and then there's a 3.5 and 4.5 millimeters, which is US 4 and 7. And I love this colorway. It's beautiful. The Galdrer, I love this. Just reminds me of treetops, and I love that colorway. So yeah, this one's in 3mm and 3.5. So between 3 and 4.5mm hooks and dpns, you'll be fine with pretty much all the patterns in this book. The Molinka, I love the green and aqua. Let's read about this one. I've always believed patterns that cover an entire sweater are beautiful, and I wanted to make a garment that stood out a little compared to my other models. When knitting the first Molinka sweater, I was staying in a cabin in Hakadal together with the dogs and a girlfriend. We spent time cooking delicious food, going snowshoeing and knitting all day long. Each time I see a Molinka sweater, I think of that cabin trip. See, there's the green and the gold. One of my favorites, the Nordkalotten Sweater, and I love this colorway. When I sat down on an cold autumn evening to draw the Nordkalotten pattern, I was inspired by life in the north. Snow-covered landscape with reindeers fighting through the long winters in extreme weathers. The Nordkalotten Sweater is a tribute to the reindeer, one of the most beautiful and toughest animals we have in Norway. Love that colorway as well. And the green and gold, definitely my favorite. I've got it bookmarked as one of my first projects to do in this. Different colorways. Love that one. Love that one too. Picking the Nordkalotten Cardigan. Oh shit. Sorry guys. Sorry Bella. Didn't mean to startle you. She's like, what the flip? Norwegian Forest. Now this one is, I think, the one that's held in 3 strands. The December headband again. The Norwegian Forest sweater is one of my absolute favorites. When I started working on this sweater, I had not drawn the chart in advance. The result became this sweater. My own Norwegian Forest sweater is black, red, ochre and dark turquoise. I practically live in that sweater. Black just doesn't do much for my face. You know, I get way too drowned out in black. But I do like this colorway with the gold and the oatmeal. See what I mean about the headband? Another colorway. Definitely like the gold and the oatmeal. That's me. The December headband that we keep seeing popping up in all the patterns. It's so simple. I did make it 3 times, but again, I used circular needles, which weren't too great because they were too long, and I finally ordered some new ones, so it will be better this time around. So I can get a nice tight ribbing without having to stretch it to compensate for the long cable. My battery is now flashing. I haven't had a good time today with this. The Alasuq jumper again, and is this the Pilgrim? Yeah. This is the Pilgrim sweater. Love that colorway. Okay, the Pilgrim trail from Oslo to Trondheim goes straight past my home in Lommedalen. Butchered that. I feel a strong sense of belonging to this medieval round road, and I was drawn to design a Pilgrim sweater. In the summer of 2018, I met a girl from Switzerland who walked the Pilgrim Trail. I was so impressed with her project that I ran home and picked up my Pilgrim sweater, which I gave her as a memory from the trip. She was incredibly happy, and later I received a picture of her wearing the sweater in front of the Nidaros Cathedral. Just love that. This is beautiful. The original Pilgrim sweater was knitted on 6mm US 10 needles, but on hot summer days when you go on a hike, whether it's from Oslo to Trondheim or just a short walk in the forest, a thinner alternative may be preferable. This sweater is knitted in tinder pelt garn, which is soft, light and airy. We're getting to the Black Wolf? No? Storm sweater. Just love this basic one. As colourful person as I am, I do not often knit solid garments. To challenge myself, I decided to make a simpler sweater. The Storm sweater is knitted in 2 strands of pelt garn, a shiny, soft and airy garn in beautiful colours. Hey, Black Wolf, love this. Black Wolf is one of the very first sweaters I designed. This is a tough and warm sweater knitted in the soft Vingses garn from Ruma, which is available in many colours. Not here in Australia, unless we get somewhere from overseas to deliver. And Tusseladd, this is the last sweater pattern. Of all the sweaters I have designed, a Tusseladd sweater is one of the closest to my heart. It is named after the 3-headed troll Tusseladd from the fairy tales I read as a child. The Tusseladd sweater is a time-consuming and a bit laborious to knit, but it's worth it. The result is a soft and fantastic sweater or cardi if you prefer. And we're going to make it. Yes. Oh gosh, my battery is just flashing. December headband again. Different colorway. December headband. And Tusseladd in a cardigan. Love that colorway. Gorgeous. And that is it. We made it. We made it. Stunning book. Stunning for the coffee table. And if you've ever been scared of making a sweater or doing a colorway sweater or a Nordic sweater, I think this is a fantastic book to break that ice and just get into it. I will share as I do any of these patterns. I've got a bit of a backlog going on at the moment because I've had to be nursing extra with my birds, my birds that I received that were sick. Now I've got an injured one. So life is a bit crazy, but we're getting there. Thank you for staying with me with my flip through. Blessed be Mary Part. I will do jumps to the different patterns that I flip through in this book in the description. I'll add a link to the Wilderness Knits for the Home in the description, and also Linka Neumann's site herself. Definitely worth getting. And I do believe you can buy the patterns individually from her website as well, but I do like myself a hard copy. Blessed be and Mary Part. You say bye, Sha? Oh, my beautiful snowy owl. Bella, bella. Oh, time to give her a bath. Bye for now.